Hola, buenos días. Soy Ruth. Soy profesora de español, and I want to teach you to be able to hablar español, to be able to speak, to be able to hablar, conversar en español. I specialize in bringing beginners up to the point, el punto de conversación en español. And what I'm going to do with este curso is give you preguntas y respuestas. Una pregunta is a question, una respuesta is an answer. So each clase is like a micro conversation, muy básico, just so that you can ask and answer en español. I'm also going to give you some tips for using español en clase instead of using inglés. And I'm going to do it en una combinación de inglés y español para maximizar el español que yo uso y tú escuchas. So, let's start with pregunta número uno, which is ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Means what are you called? And the answer, la respuesta, me llamo Ruth. Okay? Es fácil. Fácil means easy. And you can remember that because when somebody facilitates something, they make it easy or posible. See, so fácil means easy. So you probably already know ¿Cómo te llamas? But in case you don't, what I'd like you to do is to put un señal en el cerebro, a signal en el cerebro que es importante para ti. Okay? ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Chantal. It doesn't sound interesting enough to el cerebro, but if you go to a football match, un partido de fútbol, and you hear a football chant, your cerebro will remember that forever. So we're going to turn this into a football chant. It goes like this. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Ruth. All right. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Chantal. Okay? And that will tell your subconscious, es importante. So I'm going to remember it. Okay? I'm anthropomorphizing your subconscious. If you want to use it in a formal setting, in español we have informal and formal registers. So formally you would say ¿Cómo se llama? And that's for you, or what is he called, or what is she called? ¿Cómo se llama? So you can use that for objects as well. So you can use that en clase to ask un profesor or una profesora, what's it called? Okay, so you could take this, por ejemplo, ¿Cómo se llama? Se llama My Complete Spanish Language Learning Journal. Okay, or ¿Cómo se llama? En español, un libro, and that's just a book. Okay, and this is actually a great book because in here you can keep a journal of el español que aprendes. So each pregunta and respuesta can go in here. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Ruth. ¿Cómo se llama? Es un libro. Or ¿cómo se llama? If it's a formal way of saying what are you called? Me llamo Mrs. Darby, por ejemplo. Okay? Entender means to understand. So make it into a football chant that gives your cerebro la oportunidad de entender que es importante and then el cerebro will keep it, will store it en la memoria, so it's accessible to you. But just to be sure, you can put it in a journal. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Ruth or Chantal or whatever it may be. Okay? Now, every clase, I'd like to ask you, did you understand, or how much did you understand? So, because yo hablo en español y en inglés, es posible that you won't understand everything. But I think probablemente you will, okay? So I'm going to ask how much, which is cuánto, and you can remember that because it's about quantity, isn't it? Quantity is how much. Cuánto, and understood is entendiste, you understood, entendiste. So cuánto entendiste, how much you understood. We would say, how much did you understand? Okay, cuánto entendiste. And what I'd like you to do is put in the comments on the YouTube video el porcentaje, which is the percentage. Okay, so it might be 100%. And if you want, you can write it in español. I understood is entendí, entendí 100%. If not, maybe 95. Entendí 95%. What I want to do over the next few months is build your skills in being able to hablar español. You know you can say this. You know you can say ¿Cómo te llamas? Now, it's possible that you're not good with names, so don't be frightened to say perdón, I'm sorry, lo siento, I'm sorry, ¿Cómo te llamas? And you can use the word again as well, which is, we can say otra vez, and otra vez literally means another time. So you can use that en clase as well. You can say otra vez, por favor, and that's again, please. Okay, and that's really useful to be able to say to your profesor or profesora en español. La idea es usar tu español. Bien. Es suficiente for today. You have una pregunta, una respuesta, and you have a challenge, por favor, a very simple one. ¿Cuánto entendiste? In the comments box, and I will see you for the next one. Hasta la próxima, entonces. Adiós.